Ask Me Anything by Redical. I am the father of 2 American kids kidnapped by ISIS. I am searching for them in Syria with Vice News correspondent Seb Walker. Ask Me Anything. Yusuf Zara were aged 4 and 1 when they were taken from their home in Miami, Florida. Their father Bashir Shikda received videos of them inside the Islamic State's strongholds in Syria. When the ISIS caliphate collapsed, he traveled there himself to search for his children. We, correspondent Seb Walker and Vice News, went along with him on his search. Watch our story taken by ISIS. One American father's harrowing journey to get his kids back from the caliphate. YouTube link. Watch more of my work at Vice News here. YouTube.com link. Proof. Twitter.com link. Why were they taken? Their mother took them because she was a religious extremist. Now she's dead and they are disfigured. What will you do when you get your kids back? This question made me smile. The first thing I would do is thank my God and every individual who helped me to find them. I will huge them, kiss them and pick them up like used to and put them on my shoulder. I will teach Yusuf and Zara to be good people and to love everyone. I want them to be true humans who will never discriminate against anyone. I will show them how to be good citizens. As an American and as a Muslim, my values teach me not to hate, but to love everyone regardless of their background. Even if they are back in the United States, I will make sure they remember the many thousands of children who are suffering around the world. I will encourage them to participate in society to set an example for everyone. They left so many memories here for me. They left me at such a tender and beautiful age. Zara was just crawling and used to wait for me near the door when I got back from work. Yusuf used to wait by the window, and when he saw me parking the car he would run out to hug me. I will never get those years back, but I have kept all of their toys here and the memories are still in my heart. Every time I drive around Miami now, it breaks my heart to see the places we used to go. But if they are here, I will do everything I can to make them happy and care for them. Yusuf loved chocolate and potato chips, so I would take him to Sam's Club and buy him anything he wanted, and the toy store for Zara. She loves playing with dolls, so I would give her so many of those. Have there been any significant updates to the case since the story aired on HBO? Thanks for the question. Since the story aired, I have been receiving so much support from all corners. The comments that I have read on YouTube and other places have warmed my heart. This is a true story, but many people that I know did not realize everything that I have been going through. The feedback has been overwhelming. The sympathy for how much suffering Yusuf and Zara are going through, and how much suffering I am going through. All of this has given me more strength to continue with my search. There are no significant developments so far on finding them, but we have renewed momentum and I am hopeful that this documentary can show everyone my appeal. I'm grateful to all the journalists who have highlighted this story, including the Vice News team that has told my story very powerfully. What do you think is the correct response from Western countries in dealing with captured IS terrorists? For example, my own country, the UK, has stripped the citizenship of some IS terrorists such as Shamima Begum and the terrorist known as Jihadi Jack. How would you both describe the current situation in Syria right now? I wish you good fortune in your search for your children, and I hope, as you have said earlier, that you will be able to hug and kiss them soon. Best of luck to you and your crew. Seb. This is a great question. The question of what to do with those who survived the caliphate is becoming increasingly important as time goes on and conditions in the camp get worse. From our experience in Syria, it was clear that the ideology of ISIS remained strong amongst those who escaped the fighting. So keeping tens of thousands of them locked up in this camp forever is not going to solve the problem. Speaking to those involved in these issues, a common theme is that Western countries should take responsibility for their citizens. Otherwise it just becomes someone else's problem. Stripping someone of their citizenship doesn't make them go away. It just means they become a burden on the under-resourced local forces who are currently housing them. The US actually has a very good approach to this issue. They are planning to take all of their citizens back to the USA to face justice there. The camp has been described as a ticking time bomb. You can read more about that here for Guardian.com link. I watched the Vice News special when it was released last week, and I just wanted to know, how long has it been since you last heard your kid's voice? Have the ISIS caliphate stopped sending you messages, or are you still in contact with them? I pray for your kid's safe return. God bless you. I watched the Vice News special when it was released last week and I just wanted to know how long has it been since you last heard your kid's voice? Have the ISIS Caliphate stopped sending you messages or are you still in contact with them? I pray for your kid's safe return. God bless you. Thank you for your kind words. The last time I heard their voice was September last year. I got a call and I heard Yusuf's voice for a few moments. He told me he missed me and asked how I was doing. I told him to take care of himself and Zara. Yusuf told me he could hear explosions from bombs falling. This was during the time when the offensive against ISIS was in its last stages. I told him not to use any words of hatred and to keep love and respect in his heart. That was the last message I received from them. And right now I'm not in contact with anyone directly. When my wife was killed, I received messages telling me this news but that the children were still alive. Since then all the communication has stopped. You may have answered it already, but did you have any idea your wife was radicalized? It seems like a big step to go from a practicing Muslim to taking your children to Syria in the middle of the night to join ISIS. I'm assuming there were no telltale sign? Thanks everyone for joining this discussion. I have been so touched by all of your support, and if you are interested to continue following my search I will be so grateful. I have created a Twitter account that you can follow for updates, twitter.com link. There is also a Facebook page that you can like and follow, facebook.com link. And I am even making a website but it's not finished yet. www.yusufzara.com. I will never give up my search for my children. And if there is something you would like to do, please contact my political representatives and ask them to help. It really works. My senators are twitter.com link and twitter.com link. Lastly, please keep my children Yusuf and Zara in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. From Seb. Thanks for watching everybody. We will keep following this story. At Shikdar Yusuf. Facebook ID. Yusuf Zara Shikdar. Web. www.yusufzara.com. Hello Shikdar from the other side of the world. SA. First of all, your story resonates with me and I feel really sorry for you and the kids. I admire your bravery and as a father can't even imagine the pain and despair that this situation makes you feel. On a lighter note, I just can't stop thinking the parallel of a very known movie and how people connected with it. You are looking your Nemo, and just like in the movies, just wanted to tell you that their salvation is your love, your unrequited love, immeasurable love that your words and actions emit in a country ravaged by war and chaos. I loved your responses, your peaceful attitude, your energy, your bravery, your beacon of light. From one man to another, my sincerest hug. Hello. Have you considered contacting Marco Rubio's foreign policy advisor, Robert Zarate, Twitter at Robert Zarate DC? He has a track record of foreign humanitarian aid. I worked for him, and I can put you in contact with him. Bashir. Thanks so much. I would love to connect with him. I will follow him on Twitter from this account, twitter.com link. If you could follow me also, then perhaps we could DM for more about this. This might be a dumb comment question, but how does the US or other agencies get their information from? Is there spies within ISIS that report back? Seb. The US has a strong relationship with the local forces that control Rojava, to the extent that there are US military personnel based in the area. We were on the ground in Syria when the caliphate finally collapsed and we saw US special forces on the ground helping to process ISIS members who had surrendered. The US has a robust intelligence operation in the region, and it's likely they use the same methods here that they do in other parts of the world to gather information on the ground. There are tens of thousands of former ISIS members currently held in Rojava, so I think we can assume this is a high priority for the US intelligence community. What's it like traveling through Syria? Is it difficult going from one place to another? And do you still hear fighting going on? Seb. Our filming took place in an area of Syria that is a de facto autonomous zone in the country's northeast, commonly known as Rojava. There is currently no active conflict here since March, when the last patch of ISIS territory was recaptured by the US-backed Kurdish and Arab militias known as the Syrian Democratic Forces or SDF. However, the security situation remains unstable and there has been an increasing number of attacks by ISIS sleeper cells in the region. There are checkpoints as you drive from one town to the next, but as long as you have the correct paperwork it's fairly easy to travel. In the rest of Syria, fighting still continues between the rebels and government forces controlled by Bashar al-Assad. But Assad does not control Rojava. In fact, this is where US forces in Syria are located. Salam alaikum from Tunisia. Just watched the YouTube video. I'm not a parent yet, so I can't even imagine your huge pain. But all my heart and prayers go towards you and your children's. Keep faith and don't lose hope. I got the same question asked by Trips89. How did you know that the girl wasn't your daughter? Other than the dad feeling. Was it a mark on her hand? I imagine if it was your daughter she would have recognized you, but that wasn't the case in the video. Sorry for my bad English. Bashir. When I saw her standing there I thought it might be Zara. I was really feeling that I might have got my daughter back and I was filled with happiness. I tried to talk to her briefly but she did not understand English. The cameras did not record this moment, but I was able to see her face after the women who brought her lifted her veil. They asked us not to film this and we respected their wishes. Zara was just a baby when she left me, so it would not be easy for me to recognize her as her father. I think I would have the feeling she was my daughter, but it's been so long now that I cannot be sure. It was a very difficult moment for me because it meant this effort to find my children had failed, and I had to leave the camp soon afterwards. You cannot imagine the grief that comes with this experience. Have you had recent proof they're still alive? Bashir. I am in contact with US law enforcement on a regular basis and I receive a lot of information that I cannot share on here. They also have told me they have information they cannot share with me either. Do I have absolute proof they're alive? No. That would a huge step towards finding them. But do I think they are alive? I am 100% sure of this, based on many different sources. Having dedicated my life to this search, I'm working every day on this and I am very optimistic that we are getting closer. That was really hard to watch. I hope you find your dear babies. This comment may sound stupid, but could you fundraise and bribe people for information? I understand a lot of them are committed, but if your child is sick or dying, $50 US sounds like a lot of help. Why has this not been on US Nation News? How can we help get your kids back faster? Bashir. I think something that can make a difference is pushing our elected officials here in the USA. The louder and more frequent your voice, the more helpful it can be. Senator Marco Rubio's office has been very useful, but they have limitations. Intelligence resources have to be approved by the US Congress, so putting pressure in all these places can help. It can be writing a letter, making a phone call. Every little bit of attention on this case will go a long way to making my search easier. I don't have the resources to do everything I would like, but I have set up a GoFundMe page in case anyone wants to make a contribution to this cause. I will post the link to this on Twitter and Facebook later today. Twitter.com link. Facebook.com link. The title implies the father is doing the AMA, but the post implies it's the vice employee. Is this another excuse to advertise like half of the AMAs here? Bashir. Thank you. This question made me laugh. In fact, you make a good point, but the truth is that I have been looking for my children now for nearly 5 years. I was not doing Reddit Ask Me Anythings until yesterday. I have been searching non-stop during all of those times. But it's not easy to go to those areas, especially when there was heavy fighting and the borders were closed. I was in touch with US officials and I had to listen to the advice they gave me not to go myself. Still, I have now been out to those areas multiple times myself. The reality is that one man on his own cannot do everything. And I am not a superhero. I am a regular American who has to hold down a job and make a living at the same time as trying to locate my children. I am grateful to you for listening to my story, and I think it helps to raise awareness of my case if you can share this. My hope is that after this Ask Me Anything I can connect with someone who might have information or clues about my children. Are you worried about what they perceive as normal during their time in Syria and how it changed them? That'll come after he will find them. Hopefully they are still waiting somewhere for their father to come and take them home. Do you know what has happened to the baby, which I guess would be your children's half-sibling? A previous but deleted question asked, why should we care about the children of a terrorist? Why did you marry a terrorist? Why aren't you rotting in Guantanamo for it? But Bashir wanted to answer. Bashir, before responding to you, I want to offer you my blessings and love for paying attention to my story. Your words are said with anger and, respectfully, with some ignorance about me and my family. The person that I married was not a terrorist then. ISIS did not exist at the time of our wedding. I do not understand the person that she became, and I am not asking for any sympathy for her. As for why you should care about my children, we are talking about 2 young kids who were 4 years old and the other just a baby when they were taken from me. You ask why I am not rotting in Guantanamo. I can assure you that I would gladly do that if it meant that my children could be returned safely to their home. I am already broken in my heart. My life now is worse than being in a prison. The cracks in my soul can never be healed without my children. I came on here to talk, and I appreciate all of the support I have received. What advice do you have for those who want to avoid a similar terrible situation in the future? Are there any warning signs that your wife showed that should be considered red flags for others? So they were kidnapped by their mother, not ISIS? Could you use your contacts with the law enforcement agency to get a job working to solve these kinds of cases? You get to help find your kids as well as others that are in the same situation, all while still earning a living wage. If I was in your situation, there would be no way that I could do anything but think about it. I wish you the best of luck in your search. What about your wife's family side? Were they aware of anything before or after she left? She didn't contact anyone in her family after leaving with kids? Is it that hard for Vice to tell the truth, or at least report something without clickbaiting it? It's impossible for them now. I used to enjoy Vice, but it's so bad lately. What are your plans for resettling once if you find closure? How has your experience affected your faith? Will you practice in the same manner as before? Thanks for watching this Reddit video. Subscribe for the best Reddit videos straight to your feed every day.